Morocco just hosted one of the best African Nations Cup we've seen in years. Organization, stadiums, hospitality, and atmosphere, top level. And yet, instead of respect, what did Morocco get? Accusations, disrespect, and conspiracy theories. Let's be clear, Morocco delivered a very beautiful African Cup of Nations. One that felt like any other major international football event. For a journalist like myself who have covered the biggest football events in the world like the European Cup, the World Cup, the Asian Cup, the Copa America, the UEFA Champions League, and what have you, what I saw here in Morocco was absolutely fantastic, impressive, and something that the entire African continent must learn from. The logistics worked, the fans were highly entertained, and the football was very competitive. Moving from city to city was smooth. Trains are fantastic. The hotels, beautiful. The hospitality from the people of Morocco was absolutely brilliant. Now let's talk about the ugly part. It looked like the entire continent of Africa was completely against Morocco, and you heard accusations upon accusations about how Morocco wanted to basically just buy the African Nations Cup. But let's make it clear, Morocco only hosted the African Nations Cup. They didn't organize it. The organizers of the African Nations Cup are the Confederation of African Football, the body called CAF. So if you want to channel your anger or accusations, I think that the better place to put it is on CAF. Morocco were just the host, but not the organizers. Now let's talk about the Moroccan team. They reached the final of the AFCON conceding just one goal, and that goal was scored from the penalty spot. They conceded an open play goal in the entire tournament, just one. That cannot be the help of the referee, that cannot be coincidence, but quality team, a team that reached the World Cup semi-final cannot be a bad team. The Moroccan team earned their place in the final, and they worked very hard, played very good football, and I think that should be respected. Morocco is ranked 8th in the world, the highest ranked team from the continent of Africa, and I think all of that should not be disrespected or overlooked and just put all their effort and result and achievement on the referee. The referee didn't help them to beat Portugal. The referee didn't help them to beat Spain. The referee didn't help them to beat Belgium to reach the World Cup semi-final where they lost by a narrow 1-0 to a Kylian Mbappe-led the France national team. So I think that we need to give Morocco a bit of respect, and the fact that they hosted Africa to the highest of levels, to the highest of standards. An AFCON that got the attention of the world, that made the world to begin to wonder, is this the African Nations Cup that we've all disrespected before now? I think that is enough reason to give Morocco a round of applause and at least show them some respect. Now, let's come to the final game between Morocco and Senegal. The finals had controversial moments like many finals in international football do, but what followed was absolutely ugly. Protest, disrespect to officials, refusal to accept results, a behavior that does not reflect champions and definitely doesn't represent the future Africa claims to want. Now, the Senegalese national team put up a behavior that was absolutely unprofessional, to say the least. To stage a walkout in the final of the African Nations Cup was not professional, was absolutely beneath African football. I think that the people of Senegal must question the character of their national team, led by the coach Fiao, who asked his players to walk off after the referee awarded what looked like a very clear penalty. I'm not going to go into all of that argument whether it was a clear penalty or not, but the point I'm trying to make is, no matter the decision of the referee, you must try to respect it. That is what professionalism is all about. And let's talk about the Senegalese fans encroaching the pitch, jumping onto the field, having to fight with the stewards was an ugly sight. This is not the sort of behavior we want to show to the entire world. This was an AFCON final that was being shown across the world. And what did we do? We put up a disgraceful show that makes the world to look at us as a laughing stock. The AFCON has suffered reputational damage over the years. It's been absolutely disrespected by the international community. And what did we do? We gave them much more impetus to continue to disrespect our biggest football tournament on the continent of Africa. The behavior of the Senegalese team must be absolutely condemned, and exactly why the coach apologized during the post-match press conference. This is not the sort of behavior you want to see at such a major international event. When we react like that, we don't embarrass Morocco, we embarrass the entire continent of Africa. The world is watching, international sponsors are watching, and the entire international community are watching. That wasn't a good sign at all, and I hope it doesn't happen again in the future. Now, let's look at some of the key data as regards Morocco hosting the African Nations Cup. Now, let's look at viewership and broadcast reach. Global broadcast in 180 plus territories. Record viewership peaks on major sports networks. Millions reached in key markets, e.g. the United Kingdom. What about global media exposure? Thousands of journalists accredited, strong press presence. Over 3,800 journalists were accredited for the African Nations Cup. Expanded broadcasting deals across traditional African markets. For the very first time, the African Nations Cup was broadcasted in Japan and South Korea via the zone. So as I conclude, I would like to say that Morocco showed Africa how to host a major international tournament. And instead of tearing them down, we should applaud them, and we should use Morocco as an inspiration to raise standards across the continent of Africa, both on and off the pitch. Respect the game, respect the host, and most importantly, respect the continent of Africa.